Welcome to the Awakened Healer podcast. I'm your host, Mary Beth Vanderlinden. I'm an ordained Christian minister, international intuitive healer, healer trainer, speaker, and retreat facilitator. On the Awakened Healer podcast, myself and a wide variety of fascinating guests will share our gifts and divine experiences. I won't shy away from diving deep and asking big questions during these conversations. In turn, we will open up and share our deepest thoughts on spirituality, angels, intuitive development, crystals, healing of all kinds, and how bridging ancient wisdom with modern science can bring you to a deep and profound healing in every area of your life. Welcome to another episode of Awakened Healer. This is your host, Mary Beth Vanderlinden. Today we're going to be talking about grounding. You may have heard the term grounding or earthing before and wondered what people were talking about. These are acts that quite literally get us back to our roots. There used to be an everyday occurrence, but it's been kind of under the radar for, most of modern day times, I should say. Those that have heard of grounding dismiss it as something for hippies, or they might think, oh, that's those new age people, and brush it off as woo-woo. But the good news is science has really caught up. And so I can't remember his name, but there was one main heart doctor and two other. They were actually the three top cardiologists in the world that got together and did a huge study. And there's been other fascinating studies also, but it validated the benefits of grounding. And now they're saying that that's the most important thing we can all do for ourselves each day. The piece of the rubber between our souls and the earth has left us disconnected and out of touch. The cement jungles that we now call home have robbed us of our connection to the earth. So grounding, it's pretty simple. You can just do something as simple as take your shoes off, walk outside, just be barefoot and feel the connection of the earth beneath your feet. Really sink into this connection and feel the rush of feel-good energy that you're receiving from the soil. If you have a big tree in your yard or, in the park near your house, go over and be a tree hugger. Wrap your arms around it. But I feel a real connection when I just sit at the base of the tree. And you just put your back to it, sit on the ground, lean your back against the trunk of the tree, and just kind of imagine in your mind roots, coming from you just like they are from the tree and penetrating deep down into the earth and then bringing up that healing earth energy. Just feel the anxiety and pain melt away in minutes. It really makes a huge difference. Once I began doing it myself, I couldn't deny all the good vibes and all the benefits that you get from it. If walking barefoot or laying on the earth isn't an option, that you have as soon as you wake up, you really should do it as soon as you wake up in the morning. Okay. So if getting outside and laying on the ground or taking off your shoes is not an option when you first wake up, then Spirit has shown me a very strong grounding technique that I do every single morning and that I have my clients do. And it literally changes your life. And you can find it on my website. And so if you, live in a cement jungle and you're looking for a way to get grounded, just go to my website I think it's under shop. But grounding is all about awareness and living in the present. Most of us live in the coulda, woulda, shoulda of the past, or we're always looking in the future, looking forward to something that's coming up. But to be grounded is living in the now. Or my spirit guides are telling me it's not necessarily even being excited, looking to something in the future. if you find yourself worrying all the time, then you are not grounded. You're living in the future. Okay. And so we all know people that say things like, he's there, but nobody's home. And literally, they're not. They are ungrounded and just floating out of their bodies. The best part about grounding is it's free, it's safe, and you can do it anywhere at any time. Pretty much anywhere at any time. You have to have dirt. I've even had clients that said, they really wanted to ground. They really wanted that connection with the earth, but they lived, in a cement jungle, like in a city, and they would have had to go miles, by subway or bus or something to even get to a park. And so, but they did have like a deck or a patio. And so I had them buy a wooden planter, like just a 1 foot by 1 foot or 2 foot by 2 foot wooden planter, buy a bag of organic dirt at your garden center and just put that in that planter, and they just go out on their patio or deck or in the garage and stand in that for like 5 minutes each day. And so you can find a way to do it if your heart's set on it. So the idea of grounding is to push any negative energy that you're carrying into the ground and leave it there, but then to draw healing, balancing earth energy from the ground up into your body to bring peace, balance, and healing. One of the main benefits of grounding is it leaves you centered and focused for the rest of the day, but it has so many other benefits. Being grounded will assist you to manifest what you want in your life. It increases balance and stability in our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual being. It brings access to our purpose in life. It'll assist with releasing the negative energy that you're carrying. It'll release anxiety, depression, stress, and then it allows you to live authentically. It brings peace when we're living in chaos, and it allows you to tap into your intuition, and it brings you to a place where you can heal. If you're not grounded, you cannot heal. And it assists you in being in a really balanced state of mind. So just all those reasons alone are good reason to do it. But grounding is the foundation of your entire energy system. So if that's off, all of your energy's off. And that's just asking for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual issues. And so as a healer, I stay grounded like always. And it's very important that I keep my client grounded. And so anytime you work with a healer, make sure that you're checking with them and that they are keeping you grounded throughout the session. Okay? Otherwise, you might as well not have even had it. And so we all have those days where we feel out of sorts, kind of spacey, not ourselves, just really unfocused. In this fast-paced society, it's hard to avoid feeling this way, at least some of the time. But there are techniques to help you rebalance and find your center. And it's common, in the, how do I say it? Like society probably calls it a new age term, but actually it's been around since the beginning of time. Grounding just came naturally. If we think back, like the cavemen, they all walked barefoot. They slept on the ground, all through time. People walked barefoot and slept on the ground, but it's in modern day times that we're getting away from that, or we've gotten away from that. And so grounding is something that you should all start your day with. And no, not the kind where you get sent to your room and put in a corner. You're safe. You can go out and play. In fact, play actually is a great way to ground. If we go outside and played more and we were in nature more, we'd be grounded. So grounding is an energy healing technique for reconnecting your auric or energy field to the earth. It's good for those days when you just feel off, but it's something you should be doing every day. So even though it's an it is ancient wisdom. Leading cardiologists are now saying grounding is the most important thing you can do for yourself each day. They're even having patients in hospitals being taught how to ground, different grounding meditations so that they can do, if they're not well enough yet to get out and go lay on the ground or, be outside walking barefoot, or maybe they live in cold climates. These simple visualizations you can do will get you really solidly grounded. And then another question I get a lot is, how do I know that I'm not grounded? Well, you'll feel spacey, scattered, irritated. You may be having heart palpitations, feeling uncoordinated, stubbing your toes and tripping over things, tripping going up the stairs, being unorganized, weight gain, feeling nervous or filled with nervous energy, feeling overwhelmed, experiencing chronic anxiety. People that are having like extreme panic attacks or panic attacks in general, they need to check. They need to get grounded. If you're crying for no apparent reason, or dizziness, feeling fearful or uneasy, letting your emotions control your life, forgetting to do important things. Daydreaming is nice and it's actually beneficial, but if you're constantly daydreaming, you just can't stay like in the present moment, most likely you're ungrounded. If you have, what do they call that? Is it called static shocks? When you touch something and you get zapped? If that's happening, you're not grounded. Always feeling cold or having cold legs or cold feet, or finding that you can't focus on just common tasks. These are some of the ways that you can know that you're ungrounded. But then here are some things you can do to help bring yourself back into the present and into your body. Eating root vegetables and beef. Those will ground you. Drinking water, especially if you put lemon in it. Walking barefoot, getting out in nature, hugging a tree or sitting up against one, lying on the ground. When we were kids, we used to lie on the ground and just watch the clouds go by for hours and everything. So it was like, we were so grounded. Yoga, Tai Chi, dancing, jogging, those will help you to get grounded. And then gardening and digging in the dirt with your bare hands. Probably all of you have felt that sensation when you walk along the water's edge, especially if it's salt water. Just that, you just feel all the stress and everything leaving your body. That's grounding. Being purposeful. Wearing or carrying certain crystals like black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is extremely grounding and protective, and it helps get rid of negative energy. So that's a great crystal to have in your pocket, or if you wear dresses, get a bracelet or a necklace made of black tourmaline. Onyx is another one, red jasper, hematite, but black tourmaline, there's nothing like it. Some of the things that cause us to become ungrounded are multitasking, which nowadays we all do it constantly all day long. Dehydration, caffeine is really ungrounding, and it also carries the energies of anger and bitterness. Sugary, starchy, unhealthy foods, inactivity, never getting out in nature. And so those are some common ways we get ungrounded. But if we aren't purposefully grounding, we know that we're not grounded. So what happens when you are grounded? Your life will flow with grace and ease. Your memory will be sharp. You'll feel balanced physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You'll really just automatically have conscious eating habits. You'll maintain a steady and comfortable body temperature, and then have good digestion and elimination. you'll feel at home anywhere. If you're grounded wherever you are, you'll feel at home. It isn't that that is your place. We all have places where we are just energetically connected. Our energy actually meshes with those places. And then we have places that are energy, there's like a static between our energy and the energy of the place. Like the desert is like that for me. I'm like, nope. I'm not living there. I mean, if spirit told me to, I would do it, but I'd be like, oh dear God, help me. Yeah. But, if I see water, like right now I live on the Puget Sound. And so I'm looking out at the Puget Sound. I'm seeing mountains in the background. There's 100-foot evergreens all around my house. So I'm like in my element because my energy meshes with all of those things. And so you want to know, like, where do you go where your energy is just that same, like, you really feel at home. But if you're traveling, as long as you're grounded, you'll be okay anywhere. And then when your energy remains level all day long, you'll know you're grounded. So if you aren't having those energetic slumps. So the health benefits of grounding are enormous, and the spiritual benefits, like people look at the physical, but there's also huge spiritual benefits to being grounded. When you're grounded, you've sent all that nervous energy away, like the negative energy you've picked up from other people or the media or computers or cell phones. Another benefit of grounding is that you'll breathe with much deeper breaths. And so as a result of that, you get more oxygen to your brain, to your heart, to your bloodstream. So you'll be feeding your organs and your body. And if you're relaxed and your blood pressure is balanced, your whole being will relax and your life will fall into place. So the spiritual benefits of grounding is that it allows you a much greater connection to your intuition and to the divine. This helps you to make better decisions for your path in life. Grounding your energy, it's mandatory before you begin any energy or healing work or when you're going to meditate. You have to be grounded or you're never going to reach that, present moment in being able to be in the now. And then chakra clearing and balancing, you always want to ground first and then begin to open up your chakras. So when you're in nature and walk on the ground, one of the reasons why it's so beneficial, you're actually connecting to the Earth's electromagnetic frequency. It runs at 7.83 hertz, and that's actually the same frequency that our bodies run best at. So we are bioelectric beings living on an electric energy-filled planet. Our heart and nervous system are prime examples of that. So think of grounding as a kind of electrical nutrient or your nutrition for your electrical body. And then think about how amazing it feels to walk barefoot, whether it's just on a patch of fresh green grass or, at the beach. It's one of my favorite things in the warm months is to just be barefoot. Like, shoes are not my thing. Even in the winter, people laugh. They're like, you have sandals on. I have on as least of my feet as I can. And so there are so many common inflammatory symptoms that can be alleviated just by grounding. And the electronic frequency that runs through the earth actually has an antioxidant effect on the body, and it protects us from inflammation. So the more we can connect to the earth, the less inflammation we're going to have in our body. So that alone is like, okay, throw yourself on the ground, because so many people are suffering from issues that involve inflammation. So other noticeable benefits of grounding would be decreased pain in the body, less stress and anxiety, improved sleep. It strengthens your adrenals. protection from the EMFs or the electromagnetic fields, improve mental clarity, and it slows aging. It's been proven to slow aging. So it's like, okay, now I really need to throw myself on the ground. But grounding brings a sense of peace and instant gratification. And actually, you feel yourself let out a sigh as that stress just leaves your body. And there's nothing easier. It's just like, okay, take off your shoes or lay on the ground. Just watch the clouds go by. And speaking of gadgets, be sure that when you go out to ground, or even if you're grounding through a meditation in the house, be gadget free. You're constantly surrounded by electromagnetic fields from the cell phones, TVs, radios, computers. So when you go for your walk, in order to get the full benefit, disconnect, leave your cell phone at home, or at least turn it to airplane mode. As you deepen your own mind, body, spirit connection, you'll be able to sense the benefits of this simple tradition that so many of us have lost touch with. And so get out, give it a go. After a week or two, you'll, how do I say this? Like, sometimes I'm putting, like, speaking at conferences, and you have to be down there like really early, and it may last for days, where you're just inside of a hotel just filled with other people and everything. But I always do my best, like, even though I do the grounding technique or process in the morning, I do my best to, at some point, especially if it's like a 5-day conference, by the second or third day, I'm like, I need to get out of here. And I'll take an Uber or Lyft or whatever I have to do to get away from there and go somewhere where there is like a park or nature, so that I can at least sit on a bench and breathe in nature and feel nature and connect with it again. And it just really brings you back to center. So have you tried grounding? If yes, I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and write us. And until next time, be well, be blessed. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on the Awakened Healer podcast. Did you enjoy the show? If yes, please subscribe and give me 5 on a review, that is, on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review or your comments and let me know what you loved or would love to learn about on future shows. We all need encouragement, including me. Find out more information on my website at spiritledhealinginstitute.com. Be blessed, and remember, if you're good with you and good with God, you're good.